You thought leaving America would untangle things, that once you put distance between yourself and the system, something would finally loosen. But the truth is, what you escaped was the noise. What stayed was the structure. And that's why it didn't feel the way you thought it would. Most people imagine leaving America as a clean break, a line in the sand, before and after, then and now. You leave the pressure, you leave the expectations, you leave the constant sense that you're being measured against something invisible. And for a moment, it actually works. Things feel quieter, your shoulders drop, your mind slows down, but then something strange happens. Nothing feels resolved, not broken, not wrong, just not untangled. Nobody tells you this part. They tell you about cost of living, freedom, simplicity, perspective. They don't tell you about the moment when you realize, I left, but I didn't arrive. Because leaving America doesn't undo the system you grew inside. It just removes the background noise long enough for you to finally hear it. When people say the system, they imagine something external, physical, like a job, politics, money, bureaucracy. But the real system isn't outside of you, it's how you learn to measure time, worth, progress, safety. It's the internal clock that never stops counting. The silent panic when you're not doing enough. The discomfort with stillness. You didn't pack that into a suitcase. It was already wired in. At first, distance works because the system needs reinforcement. Deadlines, comparisons, status cues, urgency. When those disappear, your nervous system finally exhales. That's why the first few weeks or months feel so light. But relief isn't the same as untangling. Silence isn't the same as freedom. It just means the signal hasn't been interrupted yet. Then comes the moment nobody posts about. The moment you realize, I'm not being pushed anymore. So why do I still feel pulled? That's when it becomes clear. The system didn't chase you, it waited, because it was never external to begin with. This is where the experience splits. Not everyone who leaves America experiences this the same way, because this realization only lands if you were carrying something specific before you left. And once you see it, you start noticing three very different responses. Some people leave and feel nothing but relief. No tension, no confusion, no quiet weight. That's because they were never deeply entangled to begin with. They used the system, but they weren't shaped by it. Leaving feels clean to them. They adapt quickly, they settle easily, they don't look back. This video isn't for them. Then there are people who feel it immediately, but can't articulate it. They say things like, something feels off, I thought I'd feel more free, I don't know why I'm restless. They mistake it for homesickness, culture shock, loneliness, but it's none of those things. It's disorientation. They left a structure that defined them, but didn't replace it. Then there are the ones who eventually see it clearly. They realize, I didn't escape a place, I escaped reinforcement. The system stopped pushing them forward, so their internal momentum collapsed. Not because they're broken, but because they were built inside motion. This is the part that feels the heaviest. You start to notice two versions of yourself: the version that functioned in America and the version that's present now. One was sharp, productive, defined. The other is quieter, more observant, less certain. Neither feels wrong, but they don't merge. And that's the tension no one prepares you for. This isn't regret. Regret is loud. This is subtler. It's the realization that distance didn't dissolve what shaped you. It only paused the feedback loop. It didn't untangle the system. You stepped outside its echo. Leaving America doesn't undo the wiring, it reveals it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Not because something went wrong, but because you finally have enough silence to notice what was always there. This isn't a warning and it's not a solution. It's just the truth of what leaving actually does. You don't escape the system. You remove the noise long enough to hear its imprint. And once that happens, you're no longer chasing freedom. You're sitting with awareness. And that is a very different thing.